gentlemen, with your kind attention and permission.
Welcome to my YouTube channel, Fritz Kayovitz. There has been a lot of debate about Rh-negative blood being the blood of the Nephilim, or from Satan. What's your take on this? I love feedback. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like button and notification bell. Subscribe. First, before we get started, I found something on the web that I thought was interesting. It was written in the mid-1960s and popularized by radio commentator and columnist Paul Harvey. It's called, "If I Were the Devil." If I were the devil, if I were the Prince of Darkness, I would want to engulf the whole earth in darkness. I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I would not be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. If I were the devil, I would gain control of the most powerful nation in the world. So I should set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I would begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you, as I whispered to Eve. Do as you please. I would confide that what is bad is good, and what is good is square. I would promote an attitude of loving things, and using people, instead of the other way around. I would convince people that character is not an issue when it comes to leadership. I would come up with drugs that sedate the mind and target the young, and I would get sports heroes to advertise them. I would get control of the media so that every night I could pollute the mind of every family member for my agenda. I would attack the family, the backbone of any nation. Soon, I would evict God from the courthouse and the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. In his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. What'll you bet I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich? I would make divorce acceptable and easy, even fashionable. If the family crumbles, so does the nation. I would compel people to express their most depraved fantasies on canvas and movie screens, and I would call it art. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies. I would convince the world that people are born homosexuals and that their lifestyles should be accepted and marveled. I would convince the people that right and wrong are determined by a few who call themselves authorities and refer to their agenda as politically correct. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellect but neglect to discipline emotions. I'd tell teachers to let those students run wild. And before you knew it, you'd have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. With flattery and promises of power, I would get the courts to vote against God and in favor of pornography. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing and judges promoting pornography. I'd convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, and that what you see on television is the way to be. And thus, I could undress you in public and lure you into bed with diseases for which there are no cures. I would make it legal to take the life of unborn babies. I would make it socially acceptable to take one's own life and invent machines to make it convenient. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who want it until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. Then my police state would force everybody back to work. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves until each, in its turn, was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. Then I would separate families, putting children in uniform. I'd have women take over the role of men in the workforce, and put all objectors in prisons or slave labor camps. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing. It's like Paul Harvey predicted the future back in the 1960s. I think that's wild. What do you think? Rh-negative blood is a blood type that is missing the Rhd antigen. It is missing one of about 50 antigens, and is one of around 32 types of human blood group classifications based on different groups of antigens. Human blood has all sorts of combinations of antigens. The presence or absence of some of them are more dramatic in impact than when it comes to blood transfusions or mothers with infants in the womb. It's why people with type A blood cannot get a blood transfusion from someone with type B blood. Rh-negative is one more type to take into consideration. So, no, neither you nor anyone else with Rh-negative blood are the offspring of Satan. Fallen angels though, maybe, just kidding. But for real? If anything, I'd say it is the other way around. Considering the blood type of the Shroud of Turin was DNA tested and came back Rh-negative. So you do the math on who would then be the spawn of Satan. Make sure to tell people who say Rh-negatives are the devil. Hope this helps you on your journey. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.